Coming up on DC News Now at 4. New details tonight about one of the victims in Monday's carjacking rampage. We're hearing from those who knew him best.
Plus, a teen who stabbed a friend to death over fast food sauce sentenced in court today. New details in this disturbing case.
Warmer temperatures are on the way for Thursday. We'll let you know if this comes along with some much needed sunshine.
And this Wellness Wednesday, we're reminded to breathe. An expert now offering her pearls of wisdom on why this simple act is so important.
And pickleball coming to West Virginia's Panhandle. Popular sport bringing people together and raising money for the community.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thanks for joining us on this Wednesday for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Annalisa Gale. Developing now a carjacking rampage in DC Tuesday that left one person dead and another critically injured has shaken the district once again.
One of the victims who was randomly shot is Mike Gill, a longtime attorney and former member of the DC elections. He was picking up his wife from work when he was attacked.
DC News Now's Leonard and Fleming spoke to his former colleagues who are in shock following that shooting. Leonard, what have you learned about him tonight?
Mark and Annalisa, this is the area where Mike Gill was shot in that rampage, the carjacking rampage that happened yesterday. His former election colleagues tell me Mike was a fair and kind man who cared deeply for this city, but they are very, very concerned about the random violence and what they call pure madness. DC police say just before 6 p.m., Mike Gill was waiting to pick up his wife at her job in the 900 block of K Street Northwest. The gunman got into his parked vehicle and shot Gill. He collapsed on the sidewalk. After shooting Gill, the gunman then went on to commit 3 more carjackings, killing Alberto Vasquez Jr. in D.C. and 2 more in Prince George's County before he was shot and killed by police. Michael Bennett served with Gill on the elections board and was stunned by the random violence taken out on his friend.
He was always very responsive and just a good guy. I mean, cared about the city, cared about his family. I mean, I consider him a good friend. My understanding is Mike was downtown waiting for his wife near a restaurant that my wife and my family and I go to regularly.
Gill had also worked for the Trump administration with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission as its chief of staff. That position he also held a few years ago. Guys?
All right, Leonard, and we know Gill is in critical condition. What else are you learning about how he's doing right now?
Well, we still have heard from his friends that he is still in critical condition and that his family is closely by his side, tending to his needs right now. But the people I talk to who know Gill, they're just incensed at this random violence and that it could happen to anyone in any place at any time. Reporting from Northwest DC, Leonard and Fleming, DC News Now, back to you.
All right, Leonard, thank you. We'll get back to your top stories in just a moment. A live look outside at Roslyn. Again, very cloudy out there.
But it has been fairly mild in terms of how cold it is, although you need that coat. Let's turn over to the meteorologist, David Matson. And David, what can we expect for the rest of the rush hour?
Well, I think as we go throughout the rest of the evening, guys, that view you see right there is not going anywhere. It's been the case all day. Overcast skies. That's all we've been experiencing. Now, earlier this morning, we had a little bit of light precipitation try to make its way across the region, but, well, you can clearly see on the rainfall total map here, barely any rain came down. A few flakes were mixed in with that as well, but it was just sprinkles and flurries at the end of the day. Nothing significant that really impacted the start of our Wednesday. And then from there, we've continued to hold on to a lot of this cloud cover. It's been overcast all day long as a Clipper system that passed by last night continues to drift south of the area. But as it continues to pull away and high pressure over the northeastern coastline has more of an influence on our weather conditions here, we will begin to see more of a clear sky as we go mostly tonight into the day on Thursday. So that means, unfortunately, like I just mentioned, it's going to remain overcast past sunset here. That clearing starts to take shape a little more so through the first half of the night as temperatures start to drop back from the chilly 40s into the chilly 30s. That's the way it's going to stay here. But folks, tomorrow there is finally going to be a good amount of sunshine on tap throughout the day on Thursday. Does that mean we finally see a bump up in our temperatures? We'll have a full check of your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, it has been 5 months now since a Maryland teen was stabbed outside of Northwest D.C. McDonald's.
And prosecutors say that the motive behind the attack has been linked to an argument over a condiment, and her killer was another teen who she believed was her friend.
DC News Now's Dave LaValle joins us outside the D.C. Superior Courthouse now, where that 16-year-old was just sentenced moments ago. Dave, what was her sentence there?
Good afternoon to you, Annalisa and Mark. We can tell you the unidentified 16-year-old will spend the next 5 years in a juvenile detention center before she's released. It's the maximum sentence allowed due to her age. 16-year-old Naima Lagan of Waldorf, Maryland, died last August 27th following the attack outside the McDonald's at 14th Street and U Street Northwest. She had been among 3 friends who went there after they attended a party in the district. Naima's killer stabbed her twice following an argument ensued when she did not like the answer when she wanted more sweet and sour sauce. The 16-year-old accepted a plea deal last month that saw her plead guilty to a reduced charge of voluntary manslaughter while armed. Prosecutors originally charged her with first-degree murder. Lagan's parents spoke a short time ago. They're not happy with the sentence.
In my own time, I may find some forgiveness. As of right now, I cannot. My little girl is gone. And so, although she got the sentence to 21, I still don't have my daughter at the end of the day. So, yeah, forgiveness is not in my heart right now.
Joy Lagan, Naima's mother, is establishing a nonprofit organization to help other parents who lose a young child to violence. She hopes to have that organization up and running sometime this year. We're live at District Court. Dave LaValle, DC News Now.
Thank you. Well, a new report finds social media is one of the main drivers of shootings in the district. The National Institute for Criminal Justice Reform analyzing shootings and homicides in the district in the last few years. DC News Now's Tosin Fakile takes a closer look at those findings.
Experts say a mix of gang members making taunting music videos posted on social media and comments on social media are the leading drivers of shootings in D.C. The report says while things like poverty and substandard education are significant root causes of violence, this analysis focused on drivers of gun violence. So let's show you what other leading causes of shootings in D.C. were listed in the last few years that were identified. The first one they say are drug sales and drug use. They also mention robberies and personal disputes. And besides identifying the main things pushing shootings, the other concerning thing in the analysis, it says homicides have gone up gradually in D.C. since 2017. Let's show you what it looks like. This is a chart in that analysis. It says the homicide rate in D.C. was about 180% higher in 2022 than it was in 2017. And the experts say, unlike most of the country, D.C. has experienced an even higher rate of homicides in 2023. The analysis showed about 78% of homicide victims and suspects were known to the criminal justice system before the incident. Now, the report also includes recommendations to tackle gun violence. MPD says MPD should hold a weekly review of all shootings that happened in the previous 7 days, including discussing things like if there's a likelihood of retaliation. It also mentions the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement should focus some of its teams mainly on the people identified through this report and referrals from the shooting review. It says MPD should increase the number of trained officers in its violent crime suppression unit. They also recommend MPD should create a non-fatal shootings investigations unit. We'll have the entire analysis report on our website, dcnewsnow.com. Back to you.
All right, Tosin, thank you. Montgomery County Police Department Chief Marcus Jones announced this week that he will be retiring after serving the county for nearly 40 years. And we had the opportunity to talk with the chief earlier today, And he says now's the best time for him to step away because the police department is in a great place. And he says that what he'll miss most about the job is working with the men and women in the department and also building lasting relationship with community members.
This community has helped me personally, has helped my family to grow, and they provide a lot of support to the police officers, and they've done that to me, and I'm forever grateful for that.
And Chief Jones says it's been an honor to serve the residents of Montgomery County for nearly 4 decades, and he's very appreciative for the unwavering support during his time as the county's chief of police. Montgomery County Police says that the search for a new chief will begin immediately to allow for a smooth transition in leadership. Our Kevon Dupree will have more coming up on DC News Now at 5.
Well, turning now to Virginia, ever wondered what people think of Northern Virginia? Well, some may think of crowded schools, congested roads, and pricey housing. A new study from the University of Virginia finding that things are changing. Northern Virginia saw more than 15,000 people leave between 2020 and 2023. So where are those folks going? They say they are heading to places like Winchester, Clark County, and Frederick County. Winchester remains the fastest growing area in the state. Maria Dunkhorst says families like hers are heading west to buy bigger homes for less money.
We would not have been able to afford this house in Manassas. We barely would have been able to afford a townhouse. And out here, we were able to get a brand new build. We got to choose our countertops, our cabinets, like everything just custom. And we never would have been able to do that, in the Northern Virginia bubble.
And homes that are more affordable aren't the only thing incentivizing people to move. We'll tell you how else families are saving money by relocating coming up.
Well, our DMV football teams might not be playing in the big game, but an airline is making it a little easier if you're trying to get there anyway. United is adding 5 nonstop flights from Dulles Airport to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. Plus, on the Thursday and Friday before the game, all United flights from Dulles to Vegas will see increased capacity.